Poppy in the house. Okay, I'm at that stage to trim my brass on 5.7 by 28. I've already cleaned the brass, I have decapped the brass, and I am ready now to start the process for trimming the brass. The very first thing I show you, it just takes forever to get it finished. The second one I'm going to show you is on a different piece of equipment. And then you guys have seen some of my videos, I always try to make things a little quicker. So I've got an air motor on order, and I'm going to set up a station to be able to trim brass a little bit quicker than what I'm going to show you, and see what you guys think. So let me get you in the picture here. Okay, you're going to get a kit. You're going to buy a kit like this to trim your brass, and what it amounts to is you're getting a part that you chuck into your drill, and we'll do that. Make sure you get it good and tight. Okay, then the other part that you're going to get with it, here's a complete kit, and this one is particularly 90401, and then you're going to order another kit, and it's got 3 pieces in it. It's got a long pin here, a place to hold on here, and then you've got this part that actually holds your shell, and the part that holds your shell screws on to your what you just put in the chuck earlier and the drill. And what that does, you take your brass, you put it in here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to start tightening that up. And like I said, you got to get these fairly tight or it end up coming off. So that should look like just like that. Okay. Now the next thing is you screw this in. That actually it's a gauge. Okay. And what I normally do, because this takes, sometimes it gets stuck, is I take a little bit of lube that you can buy from Lee. It's called resizing lubrication, but it could be anything. And what I do is I take a little bit of that, and I take a Q-tip and I put a little bit of that around on this part that sticks out. Now you don't want it real saturated. You want to try to keep, you don't want really any oil or grease or anything inside the brass. But this will help you to be able to continue to running parts. So here's the drill, and let's see. Make sure you guys can see okay. And I always put a trash basket down below my chair here. And you're going to take the drill, and I put it on speed number 1. You got to be careful, because sometimes that'll jerk your hand out and mess you up, especially if it's got that cutter on it. So I just lay it sideways, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to insert it. And what I do is I usually go slow. I'm not in no big hurry at this point. And you're just going to press against that lightly, and you'll notice that all the shavings are coming off from the trash can. You don't want to do that in the house around a good carpet or anything, or your wife will shoot you. And you just go for a few minutes until you don't see any brass coming off. And then you'll back this off this nut that's holding it and turn it around about, I don't know, 2 or 3 turns, and then you'll have your brass out. Okay, since we're loading 5.7, the brass trim length that we want is 1.30. And you want to take your caliper and measure that, and I am dead on where I need to be. Like I said, this takes a little bit of time, but I've got a piece of equipment that I'm going to build. I'm used to building stuff and make some of this easier. Again, just going to take this, we're going to run it in 1 on the speed. You just want to go until you don't see any more shavings. And one thing I'll tell you about this 5.7 is you will have to trim every case. I haven't seen any that I have not had to trim. Okay, and that's basically how you do that on your trimming and that. We'll cover a few more things. The recipe, I've got about 15 different ones. I've done 1,000 rounds, starting on the second 1,000 rounds. If you guys have any questions of different rounds that you'd like to see done, let me know. If you don't have enough information, let me know. I've got quite a bit. And the other thing is, everything I load, which you guys, when you see my videos, I always have a gauge that I come back and I check to make sure that that brass is correctly set, the dimensions it needs to be, and also the overall to make sure that the bullet is in there correctly as well. Now, if you go out there on the web, a lot of people on the forum are asking about, does anyone know where I can get a gauge to be able to check that bullet on a 5.7 load? And if you go out there on the forum, the answer is no. Now, what I've been able to find is a company that will make those. It's a little pricey, but I don't care. If it's a matter of life and death and having a gun blow up in your face or something, and potentially somebody can get hurt, I'm going to spend the money. So I have a company that's taken a CNC machine and they're making me a gauge. They quoted me $50 and hold on a second. $50 to make it, and then $8.24 to ship it to me. So a grand total of $58.24. And I'm waiting until I get that in before I start bragging a lot about that yet. I want to make sure that it indeed actually gives me the correct total length, and it also gives me the correct on brass length to make sure it fits in that. So if you have any questions when that comes in, I'll show you guys. Either we're going to find out that it works well and it's beneficial to have it, or if it's a piece of crap, I can just say that I shucked out $58 and we throw it in the trash. But anyway, I do have a gauge coming, and if everything works as well, I will provide you with the information, so if you choose to go ahead and buy you something, you can. So we're going to do a lot of different things, so good shooting.